positive expectations is one of the most powerful techniques you can use to become a positive person and to ensure positive outcomes and better results in your life. Since you can control your expectations, you should always expect the best. Expect to be successful. Expect to be popular when you meet new people. Expect to achieve great goals and create a wonderful life for yourself.
Einstein said that all conditions and all circumstances in our lives, he said, they are a result of a certain level of thinking. Now, he said, if we want to change the conditions and the circumstance, we got to change the level of thinking that's responsible for it. We got to change the level of thinking that's responsible for it, which is our expectations must move to a new dimension.
Having great expectations in yourself can make all the difference. Studies have shown that those with high expectations are more likely to achieve their goals. They push themselves to work harder, smarter, and more creatively to reach their aspirations. So don't be afraid to set the bar high for yourself. Believe that you can achieve great things and work towards them every day. Remember, you can never rise any higher than your expectations of yourself.
You see, successful people, they are ridiculously positive about their future. They always speak positively about their future, where things are going, as if it's already happened, even though there's no way that it could happen. They believe in themselves, right? They have positive expectations about their future.
Whatever you expect with confidence. In other words, if you confidently expect good things to happen, surprise, surprise, good things happen to you. If you confidently expect negative things to happen, then negative things are going to happen to you. That most successful people have developed an attitude of confidently expecting good things to happen. It's called the attitude of positive self-expectancy. It is the attitude of the winner. The winner looks for good things to happen. The winner expects to win in advance, and lo and behold, whatever you expect with confidence tends to come true, even if the information upon which your expectations is based is totally false.
Understand that the universe, whatever you want to call it, is always supporting you 100% on your definitions about who you are and your definitions about what you are capable of. Now, knowing that we are always 100% supported on what we believe to be true about ourselves then gives us the ability to expand whatever scope that is.
You see, the difference between a successful person and everyone else is not a lack of strength, it's not a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of will. Winston Churchill said it best: success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm.
If you advance confidently in the direction of your own dreams and endeavor to live the life which you have imagined in your imagination, you will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. It will chase after you. You have to know that.
Expectation is a mindset that moves you into the vibration you have to be in to attract what you have to attract. If you can remember that expectation sets up the law of attraction, whatever you're expecting, you're attracting. You make sure that you're expecting an abundance. Don't expect something you don't want, and never want something without expecting it. You want to now expect an abundance of whatever you're looking for. Just see it coming your way. Wake up every morning and expect it to come your way. You'll start looking for it, and whatever you look for, you're going to find. I want you to sit and really think of all you want, and then get your mind into a tune with it and start to expect it to come your way.
Desire is the language of spirit. But it seems the basic difference in people who experience their desire versus people who do not experience their desire, it has something to do with this great principle, the greatest principle an individual can ever learn, which is called expectation. We should never desire something we don't expect, and we should never expect something we don't desire.
How optimistic are you in your life? Do you often expect the best or the worst to happen to you? This determines your attitude and everything that happens. You see, optimists have an unrealistic expectation of success. As a result, they're willing to try far more things without becoming discouraged. In addition, Because of their unrealistically positive attitude, they're willing to persist much longer than the average person. Optimism is a wonderful quality as long as you have it under control.
Science shows our expectations can drastically affect how we perceive reality. People who believe they are capable of doing something are far more likely to do it. People who believe they will heal from an injury or illness do so quicker and more consistently. People who expect medication or therapy to work have a greater chance of that medication or therapy working. People who expect to learn a skill quickly and easily tend to learn that skill quickly and easily. I could keep going, but I won't. Basically, the mind is a really fucking powerful thing, and it affects our bodies and relationships in ways that we don't fully understand. This is why the advice to think positive works for so many people. It trains them to expect better things, which then makes those things more likely to happen. So you might as well adopt mindsets and beliefs that are most likely to help you. That's leveraging the expectation effect.
Expectation can be either a blessing or a curse, but either way, it is certainly one of the most powerful unseen forces in your life. What do you expect? I'll tell you how to know what you expect. Take a look at the results in your life. Your results will tell you exactly what you've been expecting. What you've been expecting. Now, worry is the opposite of expectation, using the same energy, but worry sets up a magnetic force that attracts things of a like nature or events and people to cause that worried state to actually manifest in one's life.
Who the says you have to be realistic like everybody else? Mediocre people don't want anything other than realistic. I am unrealistic in my expectations. I am relentless in the pursuit of my life's goals. I am rigid and I never compromise. And I'm asking you to do the same, because the worst thing you could have on your deathbed is regret for all the things that you compromised against in life in exchange for a mediocre, average, pathetic, boring life. Think about that. Regret is a byproduct of compromising your goals and dreams in exchange for a boring, pathetic, mediocre, average life.
You feel happy when the events of your life seem to be meeting your expectations of how life should behave. If you have low expectations, yes, I guarantee you will be happy, okay? But you will be mediocre in life, right?
You won't create much.
You won't achieve that mission that you're here for. There is something that you're supposed to deliver to humanity or to being in general, right? And so I say, set realistic, even stretching expectations, okay? But the trick is, how do you behave when those expectations are missed? And that really is where the whole suffering cycle begins. So the issue is not how you set your expectations. The issue is how we handle missed expectations through life.
I expect perfection for myself a lot, and I don't reach it. And I know I can, or I believe I can. That's a better word. I believe I can. And I don't want to quit believing I can. That's sort of where I find myself in approaching life. Keep going for perfection. Keep finding that reality comes in under that. And you will have climbed more stairs, if we're going to have a vertical. By the end, you will have had more quality. Your roots will have been deeper and wider, inside and out, vertically and to the south, than if you didn't chase that perfection.
You have to exceed expectations. It is a mindset of the most extraordinary people I've ever met. They're like, how do we make this better? Right? The biggest business titans you ever study, whether you like them or not, they looked at the thing and said, this thing sucks, I'm gonna make it better, right? Steve Jobs with the iPhone going, phones suck. I'm going to exceed all the customers' expectations with what this phone can do. Now, whether you like the guy or not, it's like, wait, that led to one of the biggest companies in the history of the world. And you can go right down the list of all the big companies in the world and go, you know what? They innovated. They didn't just do the thing, they exceeded expectations, and they added something new. So if you have a job, how can you add something new onto your plate, take on a new responsibility that shows the people around you that you're adding value, that takes care of the customer, that helps the company grow? Your job isn't to do just the minimal at work. If you just do the minimal at work, you will get paid the minimal.
What they can't measure is the heart of man. That is something that is unmeasurable. No one can measure the heart of man and say that they can or can't do something. What we end up doing is we underestimate ourselves based on what maybe mom and dad told us, and maybe they meant best for us. Maybe they didn't want to see us get disappointed by setting the bar too high, setting our expectations too high, so they wanted us to play safe. Maybe they just passed along their interpretation of what success is, which is just make enough money to live in a place where you're renting and paying your bills and just getting by in life, being average, right? And if everybody around you is average, well, it's pretty easy to want to set that as your standard, isn't it? Far too often, those expectations are set too low. And you begin to think that greatness is meant for others, and it's not. It's meant for you.
As you dream of new things, as you hope for good things to come into your life, you can also believe that with enough dedication, enough time, enough belief in yourself, enough work, that you will get there. Will there be disappointments along the way? Expect that. I expect that sometimes, it's not going to be great. But I know over the long term, I'm an optimist. I know over the long term, good things come to good people. I don't know over the long term that the universe keeps rewarding those people who, despite their fear, start marching towards their dreams. It's like the destiny turns its ear to those without fear. And so you believe in yourself, believe in other people, believe that the world is going to bring you good things. No matter what, I know it's hard sometimes, but having that positive expectation for yourself, for others, and for the world, that will help you experience what we call the charged life.
Our potential for what we can create is far outside of where we currently think that it is. And that when we start to have this understanding, that's when we can then start to expect good things to happen. Now, with expectation, understand that expectation comes from pattern recognition. If certain things have happened in the past, we may experience and expect them to happen in the future. And the idea behind this is that when we start to tailor our own focus, we then start to look for a different type of pattern, and we will then start to get a different result in our own life.
That expectation can be a triggering mechanism which attracts into your life every good that you desire. Do you know, if you have something you desire today, which you do you know that puts you in touch with it? You're hooked up to it. You're in harmony with it right now, but it's your expectation that moves it into your life. We will always gravitate towards that which we most secretly love, be it base of beautiful or a mixture of both. For into your hand will be placed the exact result of your ideal, your vision. Into your hand will be placed the exact result of your vision and your ideal. So expectation is the triggering mechanism. However, if you do not exercise extreme caution, expectation can also turn just as rapidly into a destructive, lethal enemy. As people go around expecting bad things to happen to them. Oh, I don't want to do that. What if this happens? Therefore, you must be cognizant of how you are exercising this invisible but powerful force.
If you want more wealth, you have to learn to exceed expectations and add new value. At your job or in your career, you need to exceed expectations. And we live in a culture right now, which really, I know is for many of you who are older, it's really hard to understand that many people say, I'm just gonna do what I'm paid for. Only gonna do what I'm paid for, won't do anything more. I only do what I'm paid for. Who are you? What right do you have, boss or society, to ask me to do more than you're paying me for? And I'm like, ooh, that's poor thinking. That's bad thinking. That's going to get you in trouble, because you know what that's going to mean? It just means you're always going to get paid for what you do, and only for what you do. So if you're happy with your pay, do that forever. You don't deserve any more unless you go beyond the expectations or the dollar value of what you're doing.
Expectation is something that we can have, but at the same time, the outcome is something that we can trust in. We can trust in the process more than we have to trust in a certain vision that our ego has. Now, many times, the full potential of what we can accomplish in our life could be far outside of what our ego thinks we can accomplish. But if we have that rigidity rigidity in the process, if we think that things must happen in a certain type of way, we are actually limiting ourselves from experiencing the full potential of what could really happen. So what you can do is have an expectation that amazing things can happen. Have an expectation that you know that when you set your mind on to do something, you will get a certain result. You can expect that amazing results will come, but what you can do is remain flexible at the same time as to how things happen. And as you start to do this, and as you really begin to embody the thought patterns of knowing that you are powerful, knowing that you can believe in yourself more, you will then start to see that things start to play out for yourself in a very powerful way. Things start to happen for you rather than to you. And from that point of view, it begins a powerful momentum of things just happening for you.
You know, it became very popular to say, you know, just don't have any expectations. Just go with the flow. You know, because if you have any expectations in life, you could get hurt. You could feel disappointed. You could experience that emotional suffering that we call disappointment. But expectations can also be incredibly powerful. They can help you anticipate things, and they can be very utilitarian. Without expectations, we'd all be sort of a hot mess. So I have the expectation of myself that I'm going to get around positive people, because those positive people are going to help shape my outlook in life. And because they do that, I start to expect better things of life. And as we expect better things of life, we all think, oh, that may lead to disappointment. No, you start to become a big antenna for the universe and for the world.
Expectation is the human being's greatest superpower. Expectation is our ability to see an outcome before it happens. Now, when I say it's your greatest superpower, I don't mean just a positive expectation is your greatest superpower. Whether that expectation be positive or whether that expectation be negative, it is still your greatest superpower. And unfortunately for most people, you've been programmed by what I call the culture hypnotic societal mechanism to use your greatest superpower against yourself.
I try not to have expectations of what I'm doing next or where things are going to go, because then you close yourself off to the opportunities that the universe is constantly dropping all around you. It's just, you have to go pick them up, and you have to be aware enough to notice them. And if you're too single-minded with your desires, you're not going to notice new opportunities to grow that are emerging. And in fact, like, the worst thing that could have happened to you was if you'd gotten all the desires, if everything you wanted in life had actually happened. You'd be living in your hometown, you'd be married to your high school sweetheart, you'd be doing your first job, but you'd be the boss at Dunkin' Donuts or whatever your first job was, right? So the world doesn't always give you what you want, but it often gives you what you need. And for that, you just have to be willing to accept that, yeah, maybe this is not the right place or the right time for me, and I just need to move on.
That which you do not hate, you will eventually tolerate. And I think that identifies most people's lives. In other words, average becomes sort of like this slow asphyxiation. It's almost like an anesthetic. And that over time we become kind of immune and dulled to the average that we're becoming. And so over time we sort of minimize where we're at. You're going to get out of your life what you'll accept. That's really difficult for people, I think, to understand is, look, what you think you're worth and what you're going to tolerate is absolutely what you're going to bring into your life and what the outward part of your life is going to look like.
Positive thinking has a real physiological impact on what you do. They did a study with older people that were past retirement, and they asked them to use what sort of words do you associate with getting older, and they split these people into two different groups, and the sort of words that people used perfectly mapped onto how long they were going to live. So the people that used the sort of words alone, frail, fragile, injury, death, they were the ones that lived the shortest. The people that said happiness, freedom, liberty, connection, maturity, those sorts of words were the ones that lived the longest. So your expectations can literally impact your longevity.
The two determining factors for you to attain the results you want are 1, desire, and 2, expectation. You might have been living up to this point the way the masses live their entire lives, simply because you are harboring the false assumption that desire is the only thing which you need to reach your goal. But you must understand, if your desire is not combined with the expectation that you will receive what you desire, you will find yourself continually frustrated and disappointed whenever you begin working towards any kind of material goal.
You came from nothing, no thing, nothingness. You return to nothingness. So the greatest gift that you have been given, every single one of us, The great gift that you have been given is the gift of your imagination.
Your expectation is a magnet, and it will attract everything of a like nature. Every one of us have a desire to be more, to do more, and to have more. But how many people actually expect it to happen?
Your expectations become your own self-fulfilling prophecies. Whatever you expect with confidence seems to come into your life.
When you cast your mind back over the experiences of your own life, you will soon realize that whenever you did reach a desired goal, you not only desired that goal, but you actually expected to attain it as well. Let me repeat. Desire without expectation is nothing more than wishful thinking. Since the vast majority of people wish positive but expect negative, they seldom attain what they are after.